Okay, thank you. Why don't we just go around the room and introduce ourselves to each other, and maybe we'll make some additional friends.
It's in Springdale.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for coming. I'm Scott McClymonds. I have a company called Nehemiah Worldwide. I've spent many years, more than I care to admit, in the banking industry. I've also owned my own businesses simultaneously with being in banking. I've owned a real estate and preschool business. So we'll talk a little bit about larger and smaller businesses. And so, once again, how many of you all want to become better marketers, or at least make marketing more effective for your business? Absolutely, right? We all do. Well, we're going to do that today. What you have in front of you is what I would just call lecture notes. So I think those tend to be a little bit more informative than PowerPoint, so those will be your takeaways. And if you want, you'll all be able to receive a video of this presentation as well. So I encourage you to ask a lot of questions. We're going to cover basically a one-day course today in 1 hour. And but still, ask questions. And without further ado, let's get started. Anybody heard of Peter Drucker? He was one of the greatest American business minds ever. And Peter Drucker said, see if you agree with this, he said the purpose of a business is what? Purpose of a business is to get a customer. Why do you think he would say that?
Without your customers, your business will fail.
Without your customers, your business fails. That's right. And I would add to that, I'm the McClymonds there in the second point, I would say the purpose of your business is to get a profitable customer, to get and keep a profitable customer. We're going to talk more about that as the presentation goes on. The second thing that Mr. Drucker said, and this is where marketing comes in, he said business has two functions and two functions only: marketing and innovation, and everything else is a cost. Think about that. Why do you think he would say that? Why would he say that marketing and innovation are the two essential functions of a business?
Because without them, your business would fail.
You won't get customers without marketing innovation, right? You're exactly right. Okay, so now think about this. There's a research study that's just published. It's been published annually since 2012. It's called State of the Business Owner. And in the State of the Business Owner report for 2014 that was just released, you can find it online, they said that the most successful businesses are those that spend at least 40% of their time on marketing and sales. 2 out of 5 entire days of the week on marketing and sales. And businesses that do that, their revenue is increasing at 60% faster than businesses that spend less time on marketing and sales. Now, just a little informal poll here. How many of your businesses or nonprofits spend, do you think, at least 40% of their time on marketing and sales? For the record, go ahead.
Maybe close.
Maybe close.
Yeah.
So tie these together. If marketing is so critical to getting customers, then why would we spend less than 40% of our time on activities that get customers? Right? So we're gonna talk about building strategies around doing that. So what is marketing like in most companies? Well, marketing in most companies right now, it's ineffective, I would say. In the companies that I've either consulted with or worked for, marketing is largely ineffective. They're not getting the return on investment that they could. And I think there really are 3 primary reasons. One is that a lot of businesses that do market tend to look at marketing as singular events, not really built around a strategy, but rather a flavor of the month. Hey, we've got a certain product that's in inventory, we need to get rid of it. Let's say if you're a furniture retailer, or if you're a restaurant, certain drinks or meals of the month that are on special. And so a lot of businesses tend to do what I would call one-off marketing that's designed mostly to, either out of panic or designed to create current year revenue, which is great, but it doesn't necessarily produce long-term growth and a long-term strategy. It's not really cohesive and coherent, integrated. The other thing is a lot of companies don't measure their marketing. And so they don't know if it's effective or not. Just a little story here. My wife and I, at one point in our lives, you'll hear more about this later, but we were crazy enough to own a preschool. And it was a great business, just like any business. There are difficulties. But we did different kinds of marketing, and we measured them crazily. So we did radio, we did direct mail, we did magazines, we did e-newsletters, we did our website, and we did referrals, and we tracked walk-ins. And we not only did we track our lead sources, but we also tracked our conversions. And welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. No problem. No problem. But we tracked conversions as well. And that helped us eliminate different sources of marketing that we were wasting money on and really focus on where we had the most impact for our money. So if you're not tracking it, which most companies don't, I would say, this is one thing that we need to start. So marketing, the third reason, is that marketing tends to be neglected by people in the C-suite, CEOs, CFOs, etc. They look at it sort of as a low-level activity in many cases, not really a strategic function. And oftentimes, that's because they're good at what they know. They might be great at finance, they might be great at computer programming, web design, running a restaurant, whatever, but they're not necessarily trained marketers. And so they tend to ignore what they're not good at. So I think these are the three reasons that I've seen why marketing is not as effective as it could be. And what this ends up being is that there's no real strategy with the marketing. It's piecemeal. So we're gonna learn the difference. Here's an introduction to strategic marketing. And so I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that this is not rocket science. It's doable, it's practical, it's affordable. The bad news, welcome. The bad news is it takes a lot of work. And planning a marketing strategy, when you're creating this strategy, you're going to feel like you're not doing anything. As business owners and entrepreneurs, our natural propensity is to act, is to be in action. Well, when I'm planning a strategy, how am I acting? I almost get antsy, and I feel like I should be doing something else. But this, if the time that you take for this and the energy that you put into it, will pay huge rewards for your business, I guarantee it. So, there are 4 critical elements, I believe, in a strong marketing strategy. And these apply whether your business is an online business or an offline business. I believe these apply if you're a church, if you're Habitat for Humanity, if you're in logistics, if you're in banking, or if you're in human resource, if you're in library. They apply across the board. They're foundational, okay? And they are, and we'll define these in a little bit. Brand promise, marketing analytics and automation, referrals, and leadership. Hi, welcome. By the way, for those of you who came late, there are cookies and water, homemade cookies. So please help yourselves. So these are 4 elements, and lots of times I'll go through them with people, and they'll say, wait a minute, leadership, I don't get that. I've heard leadership is important for business, but why marketing? I've never heard about it in the context of marketing. And I'll say, well, is marketing part of your business? Yeah. And now I'll go on to explain why it's so important, and they'll get it. I just explained it to a really smart entrepreneur in Minneapolis last week. So let's talk about brand promise for a second. It's the heart of your business. It's the most important management system that you have. It's why you're in business. And it needs to just ebb through and live through everything that you do, all the ways you serve your customer. It's how your customers feel when they buy from you, when they do business with you, and it's the experience that they have. And it's how their lives are impacted as a result of having done business with you. Then there's marketing, analytics, and automation. This is a field that I worked in for many years. And you can look at this almost as the brains of your marketing. It gives you insights into your marketplace, insights into your customers, your product sales. It really helps you understand where your success is, where your success isn't, and where it could be. And then there's referrals. Everybody knows that referrals are the most inexpensive and most effective way to build your business. So we'll talk about ways to build referral strategies. And then, of course, leadership. And we talked about that just a little bit. Necessary element in marketing, not only in how you market, but also in how you run your company. How you run your company impacts marketing. So let's go into a little more detail. I'm on page 5, starting with brand promise. So this brand promise, when I first learned of it, I thought, that is the greatest idea that I've ever heard with respect to business. Let me ask you, how many of y'all have been a customer of a business that really didn't care that you did business with them? Absolutely. Nodding your heads, yes. Right. And so a brand promise is the very opposite of that. And it comes from the leader of the business. The leader can get help constructing the brand promise, but the leader, the CEO, the people at the C level, they have to embody this. And it has to permeate every aspect of your business. Because what if you've got a brand promise and you know how you want to affect your customers, you know what you want them to think of you, you know how you want them to be treated and the experience, and you've orchestrated this very carefully. But when they get an invoice and follow-up from your accounting department, they're treated rudely. It just blew up everything that you worked so hard for. So this brand promise is really foundational. And I think a lot of people are tempted to view this as fluff. Just something sort of esoteric. Oh, it's a warm and fuzzy idea. I don't need that. I'm a plumber. I'm a home builder. I'm a remodeler. People are going to come to me anyway. They're not really concerned. They just want a transaction. I'm a pharmacist, whatever. They just want a transaction. They just want my goods. That's not it. Can't people get their transactions done anywhere? Do they have to come to you? I could go to the Springdale Library instead of the Fayetteville one, right?
No.